Hey guys, Courtney from the Kitchen Garten, and sharing with you today my recipe for pumpkin chocolate chip muffins. Hands down one of my kids' favorite snack foods and their friends who come over to visit. And my recipe makes 24 muffins, but if you're not interested in having that many, then you can cut it in half. These are super great straight out of the freezer, so I usually make 24 and put half in the freezer and keep half out for snacks for a couple days. And if you're gonna freeze them, 30 seconds in the microwave straight out of the freezer, and they are just delicious, and that chocolate is nice and gooey. So these are also made with whole grain flour. If you don't have whole grain flour, that's fine. Just use all-purpose. They have pumpkin puree in it, not pumpkin pie mix, so you can use fresh pumpkins from the garden that you've pureed. You can check out my link on how to create pumpkin puree at home in the Instant Pot in like 3 minutes, super easy. But these are delicious any time of year. We don't only make them in the fall, though they have a lot of those fall flavors of cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg, but you can make them anytime and they will be devoured, I promise. So here's my recipe for pumpkin chocolate chip muffins. Enjoy.
Okay guys, for these pumpkin chocolate chip muffins, we're going to get started by adding our eggs to a large mixing bowl. Then grab your whisk and beat them. I love this whisk I got from Pampered Chef years and years ago. It does such a great job, and it's actually fairly easy to clean, so that's a total bonus. We're going to continue adding our wet ingredients to the bowl with our eggs. And the first addition is going to be our applesauce. Now I like to use an unsweetened applesauce so that I'm not putting more sugar in these muffins than it's already there. But if all you have is a pre-sweetened applesauce, then just go a little easier on the sugar. Next is going to go in our oil, and in this case I'm using coconut oil. And you can use a refined coconut oil to avoid any kind of coconutty flavor. And finally, I'm going to add in 1 can of pumpkin puree. Now make sure it's pumpkin puree and not pumpkin pie filling. Those are two really different things. And pumpkin pie filling again has added sugar and added seasonings as well. And you would actually see a bit more of a liquid consistency with a pumpkin pie filling. So once you have all these in there, then you're going to add in 1 cup of sugar. I like to use a turbinado, or as natural of a sugar as I can find at my local grocery store, and go ahead and fully incorporate that in. And this rubber spatula, again, total favorite. It's great to scrape down the sides of the bowl with. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to start mixing our dry ingredients. And for these particular muffins, I do use a whole wheat flour that I grind here at home with an electric mill. I'm also going to add in all of my spices, my baking powder, my baking soda, cinnamon, and nutmeg, and salt. And I've got a little helper here who's going to help whisk it all up. So never be afraid to let your kids help in the kitchen. Will they make a bit more of a mess? Absolutely. But you know what? At some point, they have to learn how to cook too. So you might as well let them learn along with you. So now that we have all of our dry ingredients mixed, we're going to be able to add them into our wet ingredients. This is a really common technique for making muffins and other baked goods, that you mix your wet and dry ingredients separately. So we're going to add those in there, and then use that rubber spatula to really mix it well. But as with other muffins, you don't want to over mix. So I'm going to slowly scrape the sides and kind of turn, not unlike folding in beaten egg whites for other recipes. But we're going to just take it slow. We also don't want to make a huge mess, which is why I'm going to do this part and maybe not use my kids as helpers right now. Once you can no longer see pockets of flour, you're going to know that your batter is ready. So I can still see a few, so I'm going to keep mixing. Okay. And we're just about ready for the final step, which is adding in, of course, the chocolate chips. It's my kids' favorite part. Helper coming in behind to finish. Couple good stirs. Remember, we don't want it to be overmixed. Overmixed muffins tend to lead to really tough results. All right, chocolate chips are in, and these are semi-sweet chips since these are a sweeter muffin on their own. Semi-sweet tends to balance it out really well. If you're a total sweetie and you don't like semi-sweet, you could totally use milk chocolate, or if you want to go the other direction, you could use dark chocolate chips and they'll still be absolutely delicious. Now, let's start filling our muffin pan. Now this muffin pan I actually got from Pampered Chef as well. It's worked out well for us for at least 10 years. And we're going to scoop them out. This recipe makes 24, so let's speed it up a little bit so we're not here all day. We're going to take our muffins, bake them for 20 minutes, and then voila, a lovely baked pumpkin chocolate chip muffin straight out of the oven. And this plastic spatula keeps me from scratching up my pan. And here you go, a pumpkin chocolate chip muffin made with whole grain flour and only a cup of sugar for 24 muffins. So that's not too bad. Enjoy!